Tertullian was an early Christian apologist, theologian, and moralist from Carthage, North Africa. Zealous and articulate, Tertullian was highly educated in the fields of law, rhetoric, literature, Greek, and Latin. His works significantly impacted the early church, giving shape and definition to Western Christian theology, and his influence still resonates today. As the first major theologian to produce extensive Christian literature in Latin, Tertullian earned the title of Father of Latin Theology. Tertullian was born in Carthage, a Roman province in North Africa which is now Tunisia. Historians place the date of his birth anywhere from AD 145 to 160. In this period of history, Carthage was a leading cultural and educational hub, second only to Rome. Tertullian gained a superior education in subjects including law, rhetoric, philosophy, literature, grammar, Greek, and Latin. Other than what can be gleaned from his own writings, Tertullian's early life is poorly documented. His parents were Gentiles, and his father may have been a Roman centurion. Around the age of 20, Tertullian moved to Rome to continue his studies. It is likely that he practiced law in Rome for a time. Also, while in Rome, Tertullian was profoundly shaken to witness the brutal persecution and martyrdom of Christians, which likely set the stage for his conversion to Christianity. Near the end of the 2nd century, Tertullian returned to Carthage, where he resided until he died. Sometime in his late 30s, Tertullian experienced a radical change when he came to faith in Jesus Christ. He married a Christian woman, and, after her death, remained a widower. As a believer, Tertullian devoted himself to studying the scriptures. Soon he excelled as a teacher in the church at Carthage and began writing extensively in defense of Christian beliefs and practices. One 4th century scholar, Jerome, claimed that Tertullian was an ordained priest, but this idea has been challenged by current scholarship. Through an uncompromising commitment to his faith and to the truth, Tertullian grew discontent with what he perceived as negligence in the Orthodox Church. Eventually, he left the church in Carthage and joined a newly formed separatist movement known as Montanism. The group, with its rigorous adherence to morality, appealed to Tertullian. For the most part, the sect was free of heretical influence, but even the Montanists were not strict enough for Tertullian. In time, he broke up with them to form his own offshoot called the Tertullianists. The Tertullianists remained active in Africa until sometime in the 5th century, when they rejoined the church in Carthage. Apart from Tertullian's rigid ideas regarding church life, he remained doctrinally sound until his death. Not long after his conversion, Tertullian began to produce copious amounts of Christian writings centered in 3 areas: apologetics, dogma, and morality. Many of these literary works are in Latin and still exist today. 2 of his most notable early works were Ad Nations, an essay regarding the injustice of Roman persecution against early Christians, and Apologeticum, a polished defense of religious liberty and the Christian faith. With a strong sense of truth, Tertullian attacked the heresies of his day and often addressed the theological problems of specific opponents. For example, in Adversus Hermogenem against Hermogenes, Tertullian refuted the ideas of a local Carthaginian painter who believed God formed creation out of pre-existing matter. Tertullian's writing style employed a biting wit and confrontational force unmatched by early Christian authorities. As a lawyer, Tertullian recognized the value of human reason in defending the doctrines of the Christian faith. In Adversus Marcionum, Tertullian wrote, "All the properties of God ought to be as rational as they are natural. Nothing else can properly be accounted good than that which is rationally good, much less can goodness itself be defected in any irrationality." Tertullian wrote for the Church on doctrines like the resurrection, de resurrection carnis, baptism, de baptismo, and the soul, de anima. He wrote to help believers deal with everyday problems like how to dress modestly as a woman, de cultu feminarum, about marriage and remarriage, de exhortation castitatis, on the arts, de spectaculis, idolatry, de idolatria, and repentance, de poenitentia. Tertullian believed that conflict between Christianity and pagan society was unavoidable, leading to persecution. In De Fuga in Persecution, Tertullian encouraged Christians facing persecution to imitate Christ and accept martyrdom. Tertullian also wrote devotionals and teachings about prayer, de oration. Tertullian's dedication to his faith is best perceived in his hefty production of literary works, many of which are preserved to this day. Familiar Christian sayings, including, "God bless, God grant," and, "If God will," originated from Tertullian's pen. He was also the first writer in Latin known to use the term Trinity. When Tertullian strayed from Catholic orthodoxy into Montanism, he lost favor with most ancient scholars and the Church. However, today's academics esteem Tertullian as one of the most influential and brilliant figures in Church history. His works outline many of Christianity's central doctrines at their earliest development. For example, Tertullian wrote of the Trinity as three persons in one substance, of the fully divine and fully human nature of Christ, of the fall of man and original sin, and of the virgin birth of Jesus Christ. Tertullian's ideas had a direct impact on men like Athanasius and Augustine as well as other church fathers and the councils they influenced. According to church tradition, Tertullian lived to an advanced age. His last writings are dated around AD 220, although some suppose he may have lived until AD 240. We love hearing from our viewers, so feel free to leave a comment below sharing your favorite historical period or any topics you'd like us to cover in future videos. Your feedback is invaluable to us as we strive to create content that resonates with our audience. Thank you for tuning in today. Remember, subscribing is the best way to stay connected with us and be part of our history-loving community. Until next time, keep exploring the past and discovering the wonders of history together with us. Subscribe now and embark on an exciting journey through time.